Is that baseball?
Huh? What the fuck was that?
Welcome in, everybody, to the PHNX Suns Podcast. I'm Lindsay. That's Saul. That's Plex. That's Gerald. And shout out to our friends over at OG's Brands, the official sponsor of Flavoring Fridays. Head on over to ogsbrands.com to see their full lineup, including their two newest gummies, the OG's Naturals and the Big OGs, and to find out where you can purchase them. What's going on, guys? Good Friday?
Yeah.
Everybody a little tired from last night's shenanigans?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted.
It was a late game, right? Wasn't it?
I'm not exhausted from that because, you know, real guys can wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and come to work.
Damn.
Tell them what happened to you, Flex.
Oh, man.
I don't care to be a
long
real
night.
guy.
5 a.m., long night.
Real ones.
I don't care to be a real one.
Ones. Real ones.
You can have that title and run with it as far as you'd like to go, Forrest.
That's the drill
I'm gonna say
sergeant.
it right
Real
here.
ones.
That's the military. I get up at 4 in the morning and run 10 miles.
Well, in case you forgot, Fridays with the PHNX Suns squad are a little bit ridiculous, as you can tell from the start of this show. We're just going to lean right on into the ridiculousness that has been happening on social media over the last 24 hours, not even like 12 hours. We're going to start with Nick Wright. Now, this is a throwback one, but Nurk kept the receipts. Here's what Nick Wright had to say when it came to Bradley Beal and Austin Reaves.
Let me be very clear. I think if you're trying to win a championship, I would rather have as my third guy Austin Reaves and the things he does than Bradley Beal if my top two guys are those guys.
Ooh, buddy. I hope he was watching last night's
Didn't
game.
age well.
He did say this in the offseason,
Yes.
to be fair.
But it didn't age well.
But
still
it's a
a
terrible,
horrible take.
terrible take, and it got exposed when Bradley Beal dropped 37 and made him dance on multiple occasions.
Not only is it a bad take. Now, was this before or after the World Cup?
I think it was after. I think it was leading up to the
Which makes the
season.
take even worse.
Because Austin Reaves was bad.
Austin Reaves was getting hunted
Yeah.
in the World Cup
Mhm.
by guys that are not even in the NBA.
Mhm.
Stop.
Yeah.
Hey, man, when I've been playing ball a long time, man, when you get hit with 4 in and outs,
Mhm.
boom, 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 and you dancing around like John Travolta on what's the
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, Saturday Night Fever. I mean, come on, man, that's crazy. So I'm glad it got exposed because Brad, put some respect on Brad Beal's name.
Seriously, man. The disrespect to Brad Beal is what
It's
I can't
crazy.
stand.
Yeah, and my favorite part is that it was exposed because Nurk himself was the one who kept the receipts. Tweeted this out last night. It's a meme saying, Nick wrong, common L. And then added in, just wondering how he sleeps, laughing face emoji. I'm telling you guys, I love Jusuf Nurkic.
I do too.
Like, you know he's had this in his back pocket for a hot minute, just waiting for the time where Bradley Beal is able to be healthy for a Lakers game, and we finally got it. And it was the, like, poetic justice.
Right.
It was perfect.
Is there a guy that cares more about his teammates than Nurk?
No.
That's
Like,
the
he
thing.
constantly just puts things out there defending his team.
Yes.
By the way, Nick Wright got like a punchable face, man. It's just weird, man. It's just weird.
Bro,
What?
do you
What?
know what you just said?
What?
You realize that, like, if I saw Nick right next to you, I would sit there and be like, oh, are they like brothers?
No.
Damn, bro.
You kind of look like him a little bit.
No, man.
No,
No, I
Am I
hope
wrong?
not. Yes, you're wrong.
Am I?
Put that picture back up real quick,
Bro,
Eric.
if I look like that dude, my wife's divorcing me tonight.
Put some shades on him. Put some shades on him.
You gonna completely ignore the big thing in the middle of his face? That big old.
I mean, the nose, yeah.
Not even the only thing you could say is that he also has a beard and a mustache. That's it.
And he's light skinned.
Yo, so I love you, dog. But that is some shade right there, bro.
I mean,
that
my
is some
bad.
shade, bro.
Damn, that's tough.
I got
That
You
brother-
owe him an apology.
That brother needs help.
Speaking of which, we got more shenanigans, including Jusuf Nurkic on the internet today. This one just popped up on the timeline like 30 minutes ago. Shaq, what are you doing with your life? What?
But you know, I want to have a Captain Williams moment right now. Per NBC Sports, I don't know if it's true or not, but I want to address it. Jusuf Nurkic, whatever his name is talking about pressing charges against Draymond Green. Now, I have a problem with that. Because one, it just shows how soft you are as a big man. You're going to ruin what I created in the Big Man Alliance. The reason why Draymond hit you, sir, because he knows you're not going to hit him back. So for you to say, even think about saying you're pressing charges, you're soft. And this is something I would tell you to your face if I saw you. You can't press charges. You just got to get your big ass up and hit somebody back. How about that with your big soft ass?
Okay, so first things first, he said per NBC Sports. The only thing that we can find that says per NBC Sports that Nurk was going to or considering pressing charges is one of those aggregator Instagram meme accounts that makes up lies on a regular basis for clicks. That's the only thing. And it was posted back in December on the 13th. So I don't know where Shaq getting his information. I don't know if it was a late night scrolling and decided to just take it for face value, which shouldn't have done. But there's that. And then second, Nurk was the one who actually quote tweeted this and said, LMAO, first, I never said that. People be making shit up, LOL. Shaqlovich, is that what we're going with? Shaquilovich. However you say it, whatever his name is. I'm not from here. I'm not losing money and nobody fighting in this NBA.
True. Facts.
Facts.
Yeah.
Shaq wouldn't even fight in today's NBA.
Nope.
He wouldn't. He might
Shaq
act
got
like he would.
Body
but
slammed by Chuck.
I know.
I love you. Here's the thing. I love Shaq. I've met him multiple times. He's from the hood, Newark, New Jersey. You know, he's got the police thing going. Shaq, you gotta chill on this one, dog. This is just a bad take. It's a bad look. You started it off by saying, I don't know if it's true. So
Right.
that's where it ends for me. And then the whole tough guy thing, like, come on, man. Calling a dude soft, you don't even know if it's right. Like, chill out with that. That's a bad one, Shaq. That's a bad one.
Terrible.
I don't understand how this is like coming back up at the moment. Like, why is this a thing? You know what I mean? And why are you picking Nurk of all people to go after here? When everyone is in collective agreement that Draymond Green is the issue.
Right.
Why are you trying to spin this as if it was Nurk's fault?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, did Nurk go punch Draymond in the face?
Right.
Hit him in the head? Do all the shenanigans that Draymond's been doing? No. So why are you deciding right now, of all the things that you can decide to pick on your podcast or whatever, to pick on Nurk?
Also,
Outrageous.
I truly believe this to my core, based on like what I know about Nurkic. I think Nurkic would absolutely mollywop Draymond Green.
I agree.
I think he would take him out.
I agree.
You don't want none of that. You
I
don't
agree.
want, bro. It's just different over there. It's different.
I
I'm just
agree.
saying, man.
I agree,
It's just
dog. I'm dog in the dark alley. I'm going with Nurk.
I'm saying.
I'm going with Nurk. I think Nurk could beat the you know what out of Dre.
Draymond's only survival technique is just to fight dirty, right?
Yeah.
So he would do that, right?
Yeah.
Like
Groin kick.
he would throw some sand in your eyes and try to jab at you or whatever, right? But
Right.
Nurk, if it's just in a ring, I take my chances with Nurk.
Yeah,
Nurk
I'm
is-
riding with Nurk. I just don't the Shaq, the soft thing. That's a little over the top. Don't call nobody soft, man.
Yeah.
That's not cool. And then Shaq he does this. He throws a little subtle jabs, like he said, Nurkic, whatever your name is. Like that's another thing, man. Like unnecessary, dog. So that was a complete L by the Diesel. And I hope he does an apology when he finds out he's gonna catch a lot of L's for this.
He better.
I hope so. I don't know. He has this weird thing with big guys, though. He always has.
Well,
Like
because he has to prove that he was the best.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always like he did this shit with Dwight Howard. He's
Yeah.
done this with Joel Embiid from time to time. Like every big man that isn't completely dominant the way that he was, he just like takes issue with because he feels like somehow they're because they're compared to him every now and then, they're reflecting his legacy. Weird. I don't know. He just has
He
a
did
weird
it with
thing
DeAndre.
Yep.
Multiple times with Ayton.
Multiple big guys he's done
yeah.
this with. So
Don't let your insecurities dictate all of your moves, Shaq. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
and he's a
Just
very
putting that out
giving and
there.
generous
He
person
is.
too. That's
He
the
is.
sad part.
But
It's
when
really
it
weird.
comes
Yeah.
to that position in the NBA, there's definitely a little bit of insecurity, and it's just like
Right.
people are still gonna love you. They
Mhm.
understand what you provided to the game and what you've done. Like that's never gonna be in question. Don't stress about it, and don't let it like make you look bad by
Mhm.
going after guys you have no business going after.
I would not be shocked if we see a video from Shaq soon saying,
I'm
"Yo,
sorry, I wasn't familiar
my
with your
bad.
game.
My bad, big fella, big nerd. My bad.
do that.
I didn't realize what was going on. I didn't realize." Yeah, he's crazy.
I don't know that I am fully. I have no idea who would win in an actual fight, but I will say I feel like you got to have some pretty high confidence in yourself to talk as much shit as Nurk does. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Like you don't talk that much shit if you don't have some confidence in yourself. That's all I'm saying.
And he knows not to take it so seriously too. Like
Yeah.
obviously a comment like this from one of the all-time greats would probably rub you the wrong way, but he makes everything a joke. He makes it funny.
Yeah.
And like Flex said, a lot of this stuff is keeping receipts for his teammates. And that's something that this Suns team, especially in the eyes of this fan base, could use a lot more of, because a lot of these guys, we don't know them very well. They're new here. And so this is the type of stuff that builds that camaraderie, builds the fan connection, just making jokes on Twitter. Like it seems like a simple thing, but it kind of is a weird form of leadership, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I fully am with you, Gerald. Like it's this weird little thing, but knowing how much your teammate cares about you to go to bat for you on social media, which we all know is just like the most rotten place on the planet.
Yeah.
Like I'm down with it.
I'm
100%.
telling y'all, if they roll to the club, the big three and the rest of the squad roll to the club, I'm telling you, Nurk the first one walking in. And Nurk's like the big bro.
Mhm.
Like, yo, y'all with me tonight. Like, on the court, I'm with y'all, but y'all with me tonight.
Yeah.
And they go in the club, and my man Nurk is like the big bro that look after everybody. That's cool as hell, man. Good for him.
Yeah, I love it. All right.
Real quick, Jacob said, this is great. He said, exactly, Saul. I can't believe I'm quoting Stephen A. He said, these American guys from the hood don't want smoke from these Bosnian or Serbian guys. He said, y'all dodged bullets, they dodged bombs.
Jesus Christ.
He's not wrong.
Good Lord.
He's
I
not
mean,
wrong, bro.
It's different. It's
smoke,
different over
man.
there.
It's different smoke,
Tell
bro.
you, man.
To be clear, we do not condone violence
No,
on
we
this
don't.
program.
But
As
it's-
Nurk said in his tweet, nobody fighting in this NBA.
It's true.
Knock it off.
It's different smoke, though. Like Ivan Drago was different smoke.
But what we do condone
Like,
is
yeah.
moving on from this weird conversation where we went off to.
Hold up, hold up.
Oh my God.
Is that Flex?
Oh,
It's not even close.
Yo,
Come
E, man, I got
It's
something
not.
for you on that one, bro.
Come on.
You just letting this guy corrupt your brain over there, man.
Can we get a side by side? Is that possible?
Oh,
I know we're
if
working
If we
with
put
a
some
different
long hair
computer.
on
I
Flex,
need
come
to
on,
see a
man.
side by side.
Yeah,
here
if you
to
give me
really
change his
determine
ears
if
and his
this is
nose and
working
give me
or
a long head, then I might look like the dude, man. So you
Guys,
know good
come
for
on. Like, there's no way.
that. Yo, he's gonna do the side by side too,
All
yo.
it is the mustache and the beard, in my opinion.
Linz, I love you, Linz. Thank you for taking up. Thank you for being my Nurk.
I
You're
got
my
you.
Nurk right
I
now.
got you.
This guy right here, man.
It's
I didn't
it's
even realize
all
that was
right
happening
here.
today.
It's the beard and the mustache.
Oh,
That's it.
man.
All
That's
right,
comedy.
well-
I love you, bro.
We'll put a pin in that conversation for right now. Maybe we'll pick it up later in the show again. Who knows? But what I know for certain is that our friends over at Desert Financial Credit Union are here and they've got your back, just like Nurk has his teammates' back. For more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, and they are dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. And right now, they want to hook you up. When you open a free checking account online, you're going to get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. And listen, if you like Flex's DraftKings pick of the week, you might be able to get hooked up with a little extra cash as well. So Flex, what you got for us?
Yeah,
this
so
week?
we got some football.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
-98
some-
unbothered. Let's go.
Yeah, we got
Well, that's basketball. This is football.
Okay.
You're different, right?
I'm
Use a
better
whole
in
new-
other
whole new board.
things. So this weekend, listen, I got 3 football games that I like. Okay, so we got the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Buffalo. That place is a snowstorm right now. It's going to be an ugly game. Mike Tomlin's one of my favorite coaches. He's a great coach, great playoff coach. The Steelers getting plus 9.5 here. I'm going with the Steelers plus 9.5. I'm taking the money there.
Here we go.
I like,
Here we go.
Here we go.
No, don't
Here
fall
we go.
into that trap.
Okay.
go.
He's a
Okay.
Steelers fan.
You a Steelers fan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Steelers, I'm
My
taking
guy.
the 9.5. They're
They
not
don't even
losing.
have a quarterback, dog.
They're going to figure it
They
out.
don't
Mike
need
Tomlin's good enough. Mike Tomlin's good enough. That defense and then the conditions. So take the Steelers plus 9.5. And then the Cowboys are at home against the Packers. I think they're going to run them out the building. I really think the Cowboys are going to blow them out. So I like the Cowboys -7. And here's my pick of the week here. I'm a Viking fan. I watch a lot of Detroit Lion football. That team is got a lot of issues on the defensive end. They're playing a Rams team. Stafford's one of the hottest quarterbacks in football. Kyron Williams set the tone in the run game. And then you got the 2 boys, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua on the outside. I like the Rams to go into Detroit and upset them. Outright money line. So that's what I'm going with.
Okay.
Steelers 9.5, Cowboys to cover the spread, and the Rams to upset the Lions.
Does anybody know what the spread is on the Miami-Kansas City game?
4.
4?
Yeah.
In favor of Kansas
In
City?
favor of KC.
Take Kansas City plus the money.
All
Dude,
right.
the Dolphins aren't throwing that ball when it's
That's
minus
true.
27 degrees.
That's true.
They can.
That's true.
So you got a lot of options, you guys. Whichever one you are on board for, put your money on that. And right now, if you sign up for DraftKings using the bonus code PHNX, new customers can bet $5 on the NFL and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, again, with that code PHNX. Here we go. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2024, all rights reserved.
Bro,
There you go.
DraftKings, can you hook us up? Can we cut that in half, please?
I mean,
goodness.
or can we make Shane do it? Because I really like when Shane does it.
I
Just
miss
saying.
those.
Shout out to you guys for sticking with us here. Okay. Gerald wrote an article today over at gophnx.com talking about signs of progress that we got from last night's win over the Lakers. We're going to dive into them here a little bit. First and foremost, we'll talk about using Bradley Beal as a screener. How does this help give Phoenix a leg up on the competition in certain situations?
Yeah, we talked about it on the show a little bit last night, and Flex and I were watching some clips back today before the show, and there was back-to-back, it felt like, sequences in the third quarter where they had KD initiate the offense. Beal comes up, sets a screen. He slips the screen. KD throws him the bounce pass, and because of the spacing that they had on the baseline, the low man didn't come up in time. Beal got back-to-back wide-open mid-range jumpers. And those were just 2 examples from the game that led directly to scores. Like, they're really good about using Beal or Grayson Allen and even Booker, who's another willing screener, in some of these small actions to create mismatches, to get whoever is on Grayson onto the ball handler and let them go to work that way. It's a really big thing to have. And I know last year with the Wizards, Bradley Beal experimented a lot more with being used as a screener. He's actually in the 74th percentile this season in terms of his effectiveness as a roll man in those situations. So it's not, he's not some elite screening guy, but he is a guy that's capable of making plays when you slip him that pass. And that's a huge thing to have, because we always think about, okay, it's got to be a Nurkic setting the screen. They have a lot of options that Frank Vogel said the other day when I asked him about it. We haven't even tapped into our small screening actions to create those mismatches. And because Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, Devin Booker are all effective screen setters, rollers, playmakers out of those situations, it makes your offense that much more dynamic, especially when you get more reps together to build on those types of things.
As a guard, I know I really enjoyed setting screens because I could always draw a foul because some guys would just try to run you over. B, I felt like I had more flexibility in literally directly reading what the defense is going to try to do when I set that screen, right? Because if they drop, then I'm popping out to the three. If they try to go high and follow the player, then I can just roll and I get the open bucket. So like I felt like that did free me up a lot more than having the ball and going off the pick and roll. So I actually love this for Bradley Beal because again, you're just trying to get these guys going in some way, somehow. And being a screener and getting involved and getting hit, it's kind of like a quarterback, you know? Like when they first get hit in the game, that's like, okay, we got the jitters out. We're playing. Same thing with the screen. And so that's perfect.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I played the guard position too. And I love setting the screens because you had all the options. And it causes chaos. There's a bit of chaos. And you can kind of slip. It's like finding a soft spot in the defense when you set that zone. And if you're a shooter, that's a good thing. Now, we saw those 2 clips, G, right? You broke them down. I mean, these were shots that, like, Eric can hit. And I did that for a reason, brother, because you want those shades on Nick right inside.
Like even Eric's bum ass.
Common L. I love you, dog. You're my boy. I got you, dog. So no, I mean, it was so open, though. I mean, it was like, that's Brad Beal getting a 6-foot pull-up jumper with, like you said yesterday, Anthony Davis could grab the net. He was nowhere close. And when you see that and you realize it's just the beginning, they're just starting to tap into that. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see that dynamic build up.
Vogel had called it a counterpunch, and I think that's exactly what we saw happen because of the first half that Book had. Like he went off for 23. The Lakers send double teams, traps, blitzes, all kinds of attention at him. Well, guess what? That opens up the two-man game with KD and Beal. That opens up Nurk in the post. It opens up everything else for everybody else. And so that's why it was good to see, because as much as we think of these guys as superstars, being willing to set screens and do kind of the dirty work to make their lives easier, that's a huge thing. And that's why I'm so excited to see them get more reps and build that chemistry, because these guys are interchangeable in terms of their skill sets. Like they're able to do it all. So having a guy like Beal who can be effective in those spots off the ball and on the ball, it's a big thing to have.
Well, and it gives you so much more opportunity too, like when the defenses kind of switch up their game plan against you, right? You have other things to turn to, where in the past on this Sun squad, it's always been mostly prior to Chris Paul joining the squad, it was Devin was pretty much your only option in a lot of these situations. How the tables have turned, right? How the turntables, whatever it is.
Turntables.
But the fact that Frank Vogel is saying that we haven't even scratched the surface with this means they're going to be putting in a lot more emphasis on how they utilize all three of these guys and everyone else who's out there on the court and shares the court with them in a way that's going to be so invaluable for this team and could be really freaking fun for all of us.
For sure. And you can sit there, and there was a guy in the comments that said, but they did it against the bum-ass Lakers. I'm like, okay, cool. But it's still bum-ass Lakers that they lost 2-3 times before. And so you saw progress in terms of last night compared to the last 3 games. Like, and you can't take that away. Like, they did things in that game with similar personnel for the Lakers that they weren't able to do in the first 3 games. That's just a fact. So that means that they adjusted, they looked at the tape, they figured out some things that they could do against the Lakers, and they took advantage of it. That's what good teams are supposed to do. And again, we're talking about building steps, right? Or stepping stones. There you go. And every little piece of progress, no matter what the competition is, takes you to that next step. It's like, it's like a video game. You got to pass the levels. And that's what they're trying to do right now. I really do like the approach. Yes, it's against the Lakers, and the Lakers weren't great last night. Sure, whatever. But again, you can't take that away from the Suns, because they did expose them quite easily.
Yeah, they beat their ass. Like they were up by 30, and the Lakers are the 12th ranked defense in the NBA.
Exactly.
So as much as they are a subpar team overall, it's mostly because of their offense more than anything. They're still a pretty good defensive team, and that's what I liked, is the Suns tore them to shreds.
Yeah. Y'all, what's going on now, man?
Give me a second.
What's
Oh,
going
boy.
on
We're gonna
now,
have to
man?
revisit.
So here's the huh?
Go ahead.
We'll come
So
back
no,
to it.
here's the thing too that I it's getting a little frustrating. The Suns are working their way into things. Oh my God, the Suns are working their way into things, and I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm getting a little tired with this narrative when the Suns beat a team that's not like, oh, but it was only that. That's got to stop, man. You play who's in front of you, right? And if you lose to that team, it's the end of the world. But when you beat the team, it's like, well, they weren't good. Well, you're not going to play the Celtics and the Bucks and the Nuggets every damn night. You got to play who's in front of you. So, like, we're going to play Portland on Sunday. If the Suns win by 30, I don't want to hear. But it was Portland. Like, that's getting old because other teams do that. OKC did that to Portland yesterday. Did
62.
anybody in his office say, "Oh, but it was the Portland Trailblazers"? No,
Yeah, but that was
that was nasty.
that was
62
real,
points.
That was
Yeah.
insane. Yeah,
it was 62 points,
But-
and it was like, yo, the Thunder beat the hell out of them. But I'm just saying, we got to stop with this. Like this narrative every night of. Just a couple weeks ago, it was Houston's pretty good. Orlando is pretty good. And then when we beat them, it was like, well, they're not that good. And it's like, come on, man, you can't have it both ways. Stop moving the goalposts. They play who they play.
I understand that, and I'm on board with it with majority of the teams in the NBA, but like the bottom 10, I'm not. Like I'm not in the sense of like, okay, when we lose to the Spurs and or Portland, I think it's valid to have some feelings about that loss.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because you're expected to win those games. I'm not saying that you take away from a win when you do beat those teams or anything like that, but when you lose to them, it's absolutely different losing to Portland or the Spurs than it is to losing to
Clippers.
OKC or
No,
the
the
Clippers.
Clippers. They
Yeah,
just
there's
had
a big
that-
difference.
But that's the whole point too. Is like, why are we diminishing wins when we've lost
Correct.
to teams like that, and when we've gotten a grand total of 127 minutes on the court this season with the big three? Like, we should be thankful that they're kicking lesser teams' ass right now, because that's how you build continuity. That's how you get to cohesion, like we've been talking about. You would love to see it happen against the Celtics or the best teams in the league, but honestly, some of the best stuff that you put on film can be against the bum teams where you're allowed to try different things and stuff like that. So,
You have a little bit more wiggle room there.
exactly.
All right, let's talk about Nurk again, because Nurk connects the Suns' big three. Let's not pretend like Nurk is not a great fit for what this squad is putting together right now that they are, knock on wood, touch metal, healthier.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple, like, you look at his stat line from last night, it wasn't very overwhelming. I don't even think he got to double figures. He didn't shoot a great percentage, but there were a couple of plays where you saw him do something and you're like, okay, that's what they got him for. Like, there was one play where Nurk had the ball at the elbows, which is something they like to do with him. Bradley Beal and KD were on the opposite side running kind of a screening action. Nurk went away from that, went to the other side, gave Book a dribble handoff. Book hit him on the roll. Nurk went to the basket. LeBron came over. He kicked it to the corner of the Grayson. Grayson swung it for an open three for Beal. And that was one of their best ball movement sequences of the night. And it started with Nurk doing something that the Suns have struggled with. They've struggled when defenses shut down their first action, like that Bradley Beal KD screen on the opposite side, to make the right decision to go into another action and to do it quickly. Nurk did that on that play. They get an open three out of it. He's the type of connector that, you know, they haven't really had at that position since Dario and Frank Kaminsky. And this is a much better version of that. So, and there was another sequence where Grayson Allen and Nurk ran a pick and roll in the second half on the opposite side. The big three was on this side.
Yeah.
They got to switch LeBron onto Nurk, and Vando helped over a little bit too far with Nurk in the post when he got the ball. Nurk zipped it out to Book for a wide open three. Like, he just felt the help coming and knew what play to make. These are little things that you're not going to see. One of them was an assist. One of them was a hockey assist. But these are the types of plays that the Suns got him for, and they're enhanced when you actually have the big three out there too.
That was my favorite play. The one where you had Grayson and Nurk on the opposite side, pick and roll. The big three, completely weak side, half the court. You get into that action. The ball finds Book. Like you said, Vanderbilt was like in no man's land. He was kind of like a little too deep, couldn't recover. Book hits the three. If you look at that play, he can also, there is a window where Book, if he didn't want to take that shot, had KD in the corner and maybe another three. So they're getting good looks out of that. And you made the key point, G. Grayson Allen, how much credit does he get for that, for having the ability to run that action in the first place?
Yeah. It's a luxury to have Grayson be able to run a pick and roll with Nurk on one side.
Yeah.
And guess what? You can't help on any of it because the big three are on the opposite side, 1 or 2 passes away.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it's funny because right before the show started, we already had some people in the chat arguing about Grayson Allen being traded or not and Eric Gordon and all that. And I don't want to necessarily dive into that conversation. But what I will say is we're pretty lucky, and if everything comes together in the way that we think it will from the signs that we have seen in the small sample size we've gotten, Grayson Allen and Jusuf Nurkic, and alongside with those big three, are a really solid starting 5. It's a really good lineup, and it's like I said earlier, it's going to be fun if things play out the way that they should. We're going to be in for a real treat here.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we want to revisit this flex lookalike thing real quick?
Because
we may as well.
Oh my God. Yo, is that Landry?
Leo tagged us on Twitter and said, "Flex from Jersey looking more like Landry Shamet."
Oh,
LOL. And sent us
bro.
this image.
Come on, man. Y'all are just doing me dirty,
You
man.
hate to see it, but also you love to see it.
Okay, but this one,
This one,
this
I will
specific
say.
photo
Okay,
too
yes.
of Landry.
True.
Okay, we got the sunglasses. Landry's got shorter hair, the beard, the mustache, the whole thing. This one looks more realistic.
I would
The
say,
Nick Wright
yeah.
one is a hard no. Landry, yeah, you guys could be related.
I can live with that one.
Yeah.
Nick Wright, come on, bro. But that one, I'm in the league if it's that one. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the league. I'm in the league, bro. I'm making some good money, G.
Yeah.
We hanging in the club, right?
shooting
Yeah, we good.
37%
I'm
from
shooting
30 this
30%.
year.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nick Wright's making some good money too. He
Man,
is.
that dude look like who's Toucan Sam, whatever his name was. Is that his name?
Yes.
The Fruit Loop dude? That's who I think of. When I see Nick Wright, I think of the Fruit Loop dude, bro. So yeah, come on, man. I live with Landry, dog.
right.
Me and Landry, I see you in the club.
Oh, no.
Y'all too much, man.
Y'all are
I got something for you, E.
What did I do? He pulled up all the
He's
pictures.
doing the whole
Flex
thing.
is like,
Everything.
Flex is like, Saul, you on the list. Eric, you're on the list. Leo, you're on the list. Everybody's out of the inner circle, but Flex still
I
has
love
Circle K in his inner circle because, of course, he does. We love Circle K. When you sign up for their new free membership program, you're going to save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You're going to save 3 cents per gallon every day after that. And of course, you get every 6 free on a selection of Circle K products. So join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for details. I think you all need to take Flex out to lunch
Toucan Sam catching strays
to
today.
help alleviate the trauma that he has had to endure on this show this Friday afternoon. Great place to do that is Sunburrows. Treat yourself or your friends to some delightful food. Sunburrows is family owned and operated and was voted Arizona's most loved Mexican restaurant. They also have really easy party platters that you can feed a crowd, big or small. So if you are having any sort of a gathering, Sunburrows has your back for that as well. So let Sunburrows cater your next meal, big or small. Order online or find one near you by visiting sunburrows.com.
I mean, that is a fair question. Did you play in Game 3 last year against the Nuggets?
That's what I'm saying. I want us a game, bro.
That's a lot more believable than what I saw.
Come on, man.
Lord have mercy.
He's gone. Let him go. I can't confirm I was in Phoenix that night. That's all I'll say. No.
Blessings.
My man Landry, y'all kick the chat's on fire, man. I
They
love
are.
y'all. This
They
is
are.
cool on a Friday.
It's
Don't talk
Friday
about my
crazy,
hairline
guys.
though. That shit gets me a little touchy.
That's
tell
where
him.
we
Don't
draw.
tell him. Why
I
you
know.
tell him?
I know. That's
Oh my
stupid of me.
gosh.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, I sold myself.
Oh,
Be
yeah, you
respectful.
did. Now they're going to come for your hair.
Be
I
respectful.
sold myself.
Damn.
That's
All
my
right.
weak point.
Lord have mercy.
I keep snitching on myself too.
I know, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, can't do anything
My New
around
York
you.
people watching this, y'all be mad at me. I'm snitching on myself, man.
All right. So next up, let's talk about how we kind of need to stop thinking about the big three in traditional terms, right? This is not a traditional roster by any means. We've talked ad nauseum about positionless basketball, yada, 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 the whole point guard situation. So we'll start off first and foremost. Here's a clip from Tim Legler on Kevin Durant not even having to do too much in last night's game from the All-NBA podcast.
They were sharp. They came out, got into a rhythm immediately. Durant didn't even have to do that much. He only took 12 shots because Booker and Beal were so good. And this is what, you expect that they can be a lot of nights, like so good offensively because of the versatility of those three players. And then if you get other guys chipping in and just, filling their role, whether it's rebounding, defending, or spot up 3-point shooting, everybody did it seamlessly, but it really was about Beal and Booker in this one, and how difficult they can be to contain once they get going.
I wanted to revisit this because I know, Flex, you took some flack for what you were talking about last night, and I think we needed to clarify what you meant. And I think part of it is that people get upset at the idea that Kevin Durant they're not running the offense primarily through him. And I think our point is that you don't have to run it primarily through any of those three guys. But with KD, because he can get to 30, 25 points more effortlessly than I think Booker and Beal can, because he's that caliber of talent, like he told Book, don't worry about getting me involved for a reason. He knows that Book has been struggling recently to walk that line between point guard and scorer. We saw him come out guns blazing in the first quarter, and that helped set the tone. And I think KD, he said himself, like, I'm most effective when I'm not taking 20 plus shots, when I'm not having to force things, when I'm able to pick and choose my spots. When you get Book and Brad Beal going the way that they were going last night, KD kind of deferred and let those guys cook, and he was able to selectively, he only took 12 shots. He made 7 of them. He's the most efficient player on the court in that way. And a lot of the plays he was making with the ball in his hands were just hockey assists, where he would get the ball out when he saw a double team, and the Suns would do the rest from there. And that's especially easier when you got Book and Beal. So I think there's this misconception that we were saying, like, the pecking order is Kevin Durant should be third. And that's not it at all. The point is there shouldn't be a pecking order. We shouldn't look at it that way, because if you ask all three of these guys, they're going to say on a given play, we're going to make the right play. We're going to attack the mismatch. We're going to do what's best for the offense. It's not about who the offense is running through. It's about, are you running good offense to maximize those three?
And to your point, what I do love about the big three and Kevin Durant, again, I gave him praise last night for kind of taking one for the team, so to speak, but also Kevin Durant realizing, like, Devin Booker is most effective when he is aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay. And he started off the game aggressive, and it changed the game right off the bat. Like, he wasn't the quote unquote old Devin Booker for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. He was the Devin Booker that we've all grown to love. And when that happens, it sets the tone for the whole team. And I think what you saw last night was being able to identify the strengths and weaknesses within yourself, the strengths and weaknesses between the other two guys that are premier ball players as well, and when to pick and choose to get them going in certain opportunities. And that's what happened last night to a T. The only thing that could have been a little bit improved is Kevin Durant shooting like 6 or 7 more times. But he had plenty of opportunities to be able to, quote unquote, get his. He just opted not to because he didn't have to force it. And when you don't have to force it and you just let the game come to you, from grade school to the pros, they tell you, let the game come to you. Don't force anything. Pick and choose your spots. When you see the opportunity, take advantage of it. The Suns did that at a premier level. That's why they blew out the Lakers. When they play to this level and they play within themselves and they don't try to force things, they're one of the best teams in basketball, undisputed. But when they don't play and they force things and they try to force passes and they don't block out and all this other stuff, then it gets really ugly. So I think this was the picture that they need to keep in their head in terms of how they progress moving forward, because that's going to be able to provide the best results.
You said something interesting just now. You said picture. I may have used the word blueprint. That's kind of what I meant, though. And Gerald, thank you very much for clearing that up, because I couldn't have said it better. It got taken a little out of context. I would never get in front of a camera and say that Kevin Durant is a third option. This is a guy that's on my Mount Rushmore. Like, so that's out of context. But I will say this. Kevin Durant, I was trying to give him the greatest compliment I can give a basketball player. The fact that you can defer to 2 guys that you're going to need to get going and tell a guy like Devin Booker, don't look for me. I'll get myself involved because I'm Kevin Damn Durant.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's the biggest compliment I can give Kevin Durant. I've never seen a player be more efficient with his shot selections and efficiency ever in my life. And to your point, people were saying, he had took 12 shots. Well, that's because we were blowing him out by 30.
Right.
If that game was a little closer and Kevin gets another 5 minutes, Kevin's getting 25, 28 last night, right? And it looks a whole lot different. It's probably 28 on 17 shots. And the big three is, what we expect him to look like. And the last point I'll say, when I went back and looked at the film, I told this to Gerald before the show. I actually looked at the game again last night and walked away saying Kevin was the best player on the court. To me, Kevin was the best player on the court. Now, Beal had 37 and Book had 31. But when you look at the totality of the game and how they got those points and the attention that Kevin was getting and how he was getting them open looks, sometimes in basketball, you look at a game and you're like, that guy didn't score the most points, but he was the most effective in the entire game. This is why we got cooking. So, yeah, I love Kevin Durant, and please, stop, chill out. The KD stands, chill out, man. I love Kevin.
Listen, I mean, we got a comment in the chat right now that says, let's be real, it's not every game that Beal is shooting like that, so stop saying KD is the third option.
Oh,
please, for the love of God, listen to us. We are not saying that.
Thank you, Lane.
Like, we're not saying that. But what we are saying, and what Kevin Durant himself is saying, is that he's going to do what's best for this team, not what's best for himself. And if you love Kevin as much as you say that you do, then you should be on board with that, because you want him to win games. You want him to win more championships. And he's doing what he knows is best for this team as a collective. And if some nights that means he doesn't put up as many points or rebounds or assists or whatever, then so be it. Because if it's what's right for the collective good, he's going to do it because he knows that that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Right.
So, get on board with what KD wants to do.
Lindsey rant, let's go.
Let's go.
Yo, I
was
love
solid.
Linz. That was rock solid. I'm gonna start calling you Lindsey Nurkic because I'm telling you, you got something cooking right now. I love it.
But we just wanted to clear the air there, mix this up a little bit. And also, to that same vein, listen, we've got a big three. I know we've talked about the point guard thing too, but all three of them can support Book with this whole no point guard, point Book type of situation. And Gerald, I know this was one that you talked about with Tim Legler as well on the All NBA podcast, right?
Yes.
Devin Booker is a hunter, like a grizzly bear, man. They're out there hunting meat, looking for shots. If you put a salad bar in front of a grizzly bear for a couple hours a day, he's not interested in the croutons and the cherry tomatoes, man. He wants to go hunt. And that's what Devin Booker is at his nature. So he can make plays. It's not like he doesn't have a handle good enough to go facilitate. It's not in his primary nature as a basketball player. And that's what I'm saying. That's what they lack.
I can promise you that if I ever see a grizzly bear inside a grocery store at the salad bar, I'm not going to take the time to find out what the fuck they're into. I promise you.
You're not checking to see if
No,
it's a cherry tomatoes.
no. I'm out.
I play dead.
Yeah. Oh, I'm out. I'm running.
They're going to catch you.
I know. Cocaine bear on the loose.
Cocaine bear.
Sorry,
Cocaine
Joe.
bear.
Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
it's,
Go ahead, G.
I loved having this conversation with Tim Legler because I was curious what he thought. He's a great basketball mind. And he was saying what a lot of people have been saying in terms of the Suns need a more traditional setup guy. And I feel like that's not entirely true with this big three. I feel like the biggest problem for me is what he was alluding to, the fact that you are now in Devin Booker's head in terms of having to run the offense, set other guys up, and balance scoring. It's a lot to manage, especially when you're messing with his first quarter minutes. Like that, playing him that first quarter is huge for him. We saw it last night, like getting himself in a groove from the opening minutes. He's one of the best in the league at doing that. So when you're having him set up all of the offense, run all of the offense, that's not good for him or the team. And we've seen it over these last couple of weeks. Last night, they shifted that quite a bit. They had Beal initiate offense. They had KD initiate offense, just bringing the ball up the court and letting Book play off the ball. I pointed out a few clips in the article I wrote earlier today as well of Book being able to go to work off the ball and attack those mismatches. And that's what I love about this team is it's not point Book doesn't have to go anywhere. He's still your best facilitator as a whole, but mixing it up throws different looks at defenses and makes it impossible to plan for him, because now you're playing him off the ball where he's been effective his whole career, but you're also enabling the playmaking side. And because all three of these guys can do that, like, why wouldn't you capitalize on it? We shouldn't think about this big three as like Book's the point guard, KD's the first or second option, blah, blah, blah. These guys are all interchangeable, and that's what makes them dangerous. And that's why it's so important, and why I've been beating this dead horse about they need more reps to figure it out. Because when you have skill sets that overlap like that, you need time to work out that chemistry. And that's why last night was so encouraging for me.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And I know we had a comment in the chat about asking if we needed to look at a point guard. And Gerald, in your article, you had mentioned, like, listen, at this point, there's probably no realistic path for the Suns to get a point guard of the caliber that everyone would want for this team. But looking at potentially a point guard in the second unit wouldn't be a bad option, but it's probably not priority number one.
Right.
So we kind of talked about last night. It seems as though the main priority for the Suns, Flex, as you said, is, you know, a really strong wing. So that's probably priority number one. But if you can get a solid backup point guard to help come off the bench and run that second unit, then that would be great too. But overall, I think right now we're on the no side of things as far as the Suns getting a point guard for the starting five. Okay, real quick, want to remind you guys, if you're looking for weekend plans, our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos offers an authentic and immersive experience.
Wear pants.
Wear pants. Be sure to wear pants, you guys. Okay, don't forget about the pants. It's just a level of entertainment and excitement that you're not going to find anywhere else in the desert. They have a state-of-the-art gaming floor with over 800 slot machines, 15 blackjack tables and live table games, and of course, Arizona's largest casino sportsbook. So check it out. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Again, just make sure you wear pants, okay? And of course, if you are looking to spruce up your home to start the new year, maybe that is one of your resolutions, is just to create a better space for you. Check out our friends over at Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and they cannot be beat on quality, service, and speed. Empire Today also has this really cool thing called the floor visualizer. You can check it out at empiretoday.com/PHNX so you can see exactly what the floor is going to look like in your space. I can't tell you how nice the new flooring here in our studio is.
Beautiful.
Like, it's literally night and day, and that's no shade to you guys for putting in the first one. But again, when you go with Empire Today, that quality level is higher and higher and higher. Like, it just is.
PD and I poured our blood, sweat, and tears
did.
into this floor.
That felt like when Flex said, even Eric could make that shit.
I know, right?
And we love you for it. But Empire Today came in and they said, let me help you help yourself.
I don't want to hear
You know
Lindsay.
what I'm saying? So you guys can schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when you use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com for details. All right, we do have a super chat here real quick from Hakeem Warwick,
number one fan.
There we
and
go.
they said, go Suns, and Hakeem Warwick would do wonders for this team.
They would do something. They would do something.
He has some bounce. I loved him in Syracuse. He's a bang on cast in Syracuse.
All right, guys, we're going to round out this Friday fun with some maybe fun things that we heard from Netflix earlier this week. So apparently after the success of its quarterback docuseries, Netflix is branching out now to the NBA. And they are creating a new docu-series that will feature 5 guys who are prominent in the league: LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards, and Domantas Sabonis. Are you watching this?
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Are you excited about the lineup, the cast and crew here?
It's
4 out of the
interesting.
5?
Yeah.
Who's the one you're not interested in?
Sabonis?
Why?
No, not Sabonis. I'm interested in Sabonis.
Who are you not interested
I'll be
in?
honest, like Jason Tatum doesn't do
You
a lot
don't-
for
what?
me
Really?
as a person.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he is kind of bland.
He's kinda
But then
bland.
again, if you were on the outside looking in, Booker's would be kind of bland
Oh yeah,
too.
no, I'm not saying replace him with Book. I'm just saying, like, LeBron James, he's LeBron. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm interested in that. Jimmy Butler, he's a character.
Love
Interested in
Jimmy
that.
Butler.
Anthony Edwards
Yeah, I
is a
love him.
dog. Interested in that. Domantas Sabonis, I feel like would bring a totally different
Different
perspective.
dynamic. Okay.
Who would you like to see?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna tell you a
gotta,
guy that
you
I
gotta
want
bring
to see.
solutions, not
I'm gonna
problems.
tell you a
Okay,
guy.
that is a great question.
I'll tell you a guy that I was hoping to hear on the list.
Okay.
Chris Paul. I wanted to hear Chris Paul.
Okay.
Because when I looked at the quarterback series, I was intrigued. Like it takes you into a different realm with these guys, how they process information, how they go about their day, how they go about the machine that is their body. I saw that in the quarterback thing. And when I heard this, first thing I thought was, damn, Chris Paul, because of the way that he goes about his business. So would have loved to get a time to see how Chris and LeBron, those guys are incredible. So him and LeBron would have been cool as hell. But I don't mind it.
I think Chris Paul is one of those guys that you're not going to get spill the tea. That's going to be entertaining as hell. If he does it, if he chooses to genuinely like let us in on all the things, I think that would be so fascinating.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's hey man, I'm about to catch some heat
Uh-oh.
because I want to know. I want to know what happens off the court. I want to know who is talking to who. I would want to see DA.
Okay.
I would want to see DA. Like, who's in your ear? Who's
Okay.
fucking this up for you? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, but you're not going to get that mid-playing career.
Why not? We got a lot of insight into Kirk Cousins and Mahomes. Like, I want to know so much about those guys that I had never known before.
Mariota too.
Yeah.
Like it was interesting.
It was really good.
It was.
I don't know.
That's what I think too. I don't disagree with you. I think if it gives you that look that you're not going to normally see.
Jaw's not bad either. That's a good
Ja
would
wouldn't
be
be bad.
interesting.
Ja would be good.
I mean, shit. As much as people go crazy, I mean, I think Draymond would be good in this too.
Oh yeah. Draymond would be
Yeah, I
good.
think Dre
Joel
would be-
Embiid would be good.
Oh yeah, Joel.
He'd be funny. Yep, Shea.
Shea would
I
be
wish
good.
Devin was more open
Yeah.
because I don't think Devin would be good per se
No.
with the approach that he has taken thus far in his career.
Mm.
I think if he was more open, it would be fantastic.
Who of the big three do you think would be the most interesting?
Brad Beal.
Of
Yeah.
our big three, KD
I
probably.
I think KD.
KD would be the most interesting from like I'm gonna learn a lot by watching this.
Yeah.
I think Beal from just entertainment,
Right.
like
For
he's funny.
personality, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you when you saw the show, the cool thing was what happened.
So we said
man?
Kai Jones.
Oh gosh damn. When I saw the quarterback thing, another thing that was really cool was when they when you saw the family element of it, like the wife with the kids and those interactions, and so naturally Brad being the married one with the kids and how he operates, it was cool to just see like how Kirk Cousins goes about his business, how his wife says, you know, he just goes to Walmart and picks a shirt and goes to the press conference, like it's weird stuff. So I think Brad would be the most entertaining, and then KD would be high the whole time. So
I know, man. I want to see what kind of bong he's using.
But Katie would also be
Katie
fun if he
rolling
brought us
fatties,
in
man.
like into him deciding to just hop on Twitter. Those random late nights where Katie's just like, let me get online real quick.
that would be funny.
Like
as
I
hell.
feel like having the behind the scenes, because there are times where I think everybody kind of does this when you are in more of like a public setting as far as Twitter goes, where you'll have a conversation with your friend or somebody around you before you actually tweet. And those conversations oftentimes are more fun than the actual response to said tweet.
I want to know which, like if KD sometimes is like, watch me fuck with Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what.
And
yeah.
that's it.
Like that would be so fun.
I get a vision of Kevin at like 3 a.m. with the ugly slippers on. No, I'm keeping it real. Ugly slippers, just a t-shirt and some shorts, just walking into the kitchen, grabbing a donut, smoking some weed, and then saying, I'm gonna fuck with somebody on Twitter. Like I get that vision. Like Kevin is that dude that would be like just roaming around at 3 a.m. just on Twitter fucking with people with a blunt in his mouth.
I love that.
And that shit would be fucking amazing for TV.
Jeremy's got a nice title for it. Blunt Honesty with Kevin
Ooh.
Durant.
That's fantastic,
Fantastic,
Jeremy.
yeah.
Okay, so this is like take two, basically all the smoke, but with KD, and we're talking blunt honesty
Yep.
here.
That's great.
Since we're talking about
When KD
shows,
retires, he needs to make that happen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
since-
immediately.
real quick, can I put my boy on the spot real quick? I'm gonna put my boy Saul Bookman on the spot real quick.
I mean, he put
Since
you
we're
on the
talking
spot
about
earlier.
shows,
you
yeah,
may
since
as
we're
well.
talking about shows and things, we got something that we may be working on, and I approached you on it yesterday. put a drink on the table.
Yeah.
I put a drink on the table there.
A shot.
Right? Take a shot. If he can't answer the question, you got to take a shot. If you have
it's an either or situation.
Okay. Explain. You want
No, go ahead.
either or. So I put two people. I give him two options. If he could pick one or the other, he's good. But if he can't choose between the two, he has to take a shot live on camera. And so here's the test drive.
Ooh.
You got one show left at PHNX. You could choose to do it with Lindsay or Gerald. Who you going with?
Lindsay.
Oh, shit,
I didn't have to think about that.
Yo, this guy's brutal, man.
No. As much as I love Gerald, like, it would be a good show. But Lindsay and I, like, sometimes when we are not on the same page,
you know that you could have just taken a shot.
It is.
He didn't want to.
No, what kind of fun is that?
He's like, but the fun part is answering the hard question.
Like,
And making Gerald feel
and I
bad
knew I
and
was going to
Lindsay
answer
feel
one
good.
of them quick.
Yep.
I swear, I was driving here today thinking I'm gonna give him this option, and hopefully he's gonna be like, damn, I love Gerald, I love Lynn. Give me that shot. And this guy just no hesitation. Lindsay. So okay.
You're gonna
This
struggle.
is gonna be tough.
Because
struggle
when
with him.
Lindsay and I get into it, it's like it's kind of viral. It's kind of like just intense, right? Like she wants to fight.
Gets
I want
the
to
people
fight.
going.
And it doesn't stop. And then
And then we agree to disagree.
I don't think we ever come to a solution on anything. We just walk away. That makes for good TV.
I might cancel this idea because I can't get this guy to take a fucking shot on anything.
But you might get some really good answers out of it.
I might get some good answers. So that we'll work
something
something
out.
out.
It'd be a win-win all around.
Yeah.
For all of us. All right, guys. I think that'll do it for us here.
We ain't going to talk about Julius Randle?
Oh, you want to talk about Julius
so
Randle?
there were questions in the chat, and somebody quote tweeted another tweet that was saying some team is interested in Julius Randle that wasn't the Suns. Per, I think Scoop B was the person that it was from.
Okay.
So somebody quote tweeted it and said the same thing, but replaced it with Suns per Sam Cooper, who has a similar @ and it's because Sam Cooper loves Julius Randle. So I have not seen anything serious about Julius Randle and the Suns being in on him. They would struggle to put together the money for his contract or to give New York the assets that they'll probably want for Randle.
Yeah.
So I don't, unless I'm missing something, I haven't seen anything serious from Sam or anybody
It's
talking
probably
about.
one of those things where it's like, I just would love this person on my team. And so that's where it kind of stemmed from. But
Can we give the people a little something? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I know Flex knows some of the people that could be in trade rumors for the Suns. Can we give them what conference?
Yeah. Eastern Conference Athletic Wing.
Not Torrey Craig.
Not Torrey Craig.
But I really was hoping for Torrey Craig.
Torrey is like, fuck that. I'm not coming back.
Why you
wait a
guys
few
gotta
weeks,
kill my
you'll get him.
vibe? Like,
Just wait a few weeks.
Yeah.
We'll get him again.
There is an athletic wing in the
Somebody
Eastern
promised
Conference.
me Torrey Craig was coming back to this team.
It was
so.
probably me, but
Yeah, it's probably.
Poor Torrey, bro. I mean, he'll probably lose his mind if he got that info.
I mean, I'd say poor Torrey, but he's going from the Bulls to the Suns.
That's true.
so-
He'll probably. You think he might as well have kept some shit out here. He's gonna probably get traded 4 more times out here before his career's over here.
but never re-signed. Always traded.
Always true.
Yeah.
Like, listen, this is just our dynamic. This is the relationship that we have.
Oh
I don't
man.
know.
Yo, McCash, y'all crazy.
Okay. There's
Yeah.
a couple of good ones here in the chat.
I just feel like throwing that out there.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
And eat a lot of OGs because that's what I'm about to do.
There you go.
All right, guys, enjoy your Saturday and the weekend. Don't forget we have a game on Sunday, which means we'll have a pregame show for you and a postgame show as well. And until we see you then, be sure to give the show a follow on social at PHNX_Suns. If you are here on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. If you are listening wherever you get your podcast, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe because it helps us out a lot. And also, if you listen to this one, maybe just come over just to see the comparisons of the people that we decided to throw out here on the show and flex, just because it'll probably give you guys a good laugh. All right.
Yeah.
You can give me a follow on social at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey. And of course, you can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. Gerald?
Just remember, a Sophie's choice is a choice between 2 impossible things. If it's a Saul's choice, he don't give a fuck. He's picking right away. Ahoy, ahoy.
True.
all city like the mayor.